heels as shutdown deadline looms, by Sarah Fortinsky. Lawmakers from both parties dug in their heels Sunday over government funding demands ahead of a meeting between President Trump and congressional leaders aimed at averting a shutdown this week. During various interviews on the Sunday political affairs programs, Republican and Democratic leaders signaled that health care subsidies set to expire at the end of the year remain a key sticking point. Democratic leaders have been adamant that Republicans will not get their party's support without action on the Affordable Care Act ACA subsidies, an issue Republicans say they will not touch until after government funding discussions. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer DNY said Democrats want a real negotiation when they meet with Trump at the White House on Monday. "It depends on the Republicans," Schumer said on NBC News' Meet the Press, when asked whether he thinks lawmakers can keep the government open. "The meeting is a first step, but only a first step. We need a serious negotiation. So if they are serious, I am hopeful we can get something real done," he added. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries DNY, appearing on ABC News' This Week, similarly said he is hopeful Congress can avert a shutdown while stressing the need for a bipartisan agreement and including the ACA subsidies. Asked directly if he expects the federal government to shut down, Jeffries replied, "Well, it is my hope that we will avoid one. At the end of the day, Republicans do control the House, the Senate, and the presidency. We want to find a bipartisan path forward and reach a spending agreement with our Republican colleagues that actually meets the needs of the American people. But that also addresses the Republican health care crisis that is harming everyday Americans all across the country," Jeffries said. Democrats have put a spotlight on the Trump administration's cuts to health care, but have faced a dilemma ahead of the shutdown deadline in the face of Trump's refusal to negotiate. The administration has directed agencies to prepare for mass firings in the event of a funding lapse, and both parties have argued over who would face the most blame in a shutdown. GOP leaders on Sunday signaled no plans to change course. "Totally up to the Democrats. The ball is in their court," Senate Majority Leader John Thune RSD said on Meet the Press when asked if there would be a shutdown. "What the Democrats have done here is take the federal government as a hostage, and for that matter, by extension, the American people, to try and get a whole laundry list of things that they want the special interest groups on the far left are pushing them to accomplish," he added. While House Republicans have passed a clean, stopgap spending bill to extend government funding at current levels, Senate Republicans need support from Democrats to overcome the 60-vote threshold in that chamber. Speaker Mike Johnson, R. Louisiana, in an interview on CNN's State of the Union, echoed Thune that any discussion around Obamacare tax credits must happen after Congress addresses how to avert the shutdown that is set to begin Wednesday. "The Obamacare subsidies is a policy debate that has to be determined by the end of the year. Not right now, while we are simply trying to keep the government open so we can have all these debates," Johnson said. The speaker said his party is operating completely in good faith to get more time, adding the funding measure passed by the House did not add a single partisan priority or policy rider at all. Vice President Vance signaled the White House is also not prepared to compromise on the clean stopgap measure backed by Republicans. "Well, look, we do not want to shut down the government, Martha, but it is really up to the Democrats," Vance told host Martha McCallum on Fox News Sunday. "We do not want to shut down the government. But if Democrats refuse to just pass this clean continuing resolution, that is exactly what is going to happen. And I think the Democrats are going to bear the responsibility for it," he added. Schumer, Jeffries, Johnson, and Thune are all set to meet with Trump at the White House on Monday.
On that note, ladies and gentlemen, I will add to what J.D. Vance said, because I have to rebuke his and Republicans' statements. Here's why. That is because For the simple fact that Republicans control the House, Republicans control the Senate, and Republicans control the presidency. That's it. Yes, there are Democrats in the House and Senate, but both chambers are unfortunately controlled by Republicans. So, which means if the government does shut down tomorrow or by Wednesday, that this would all be on the Republicans, not the Democrats.